Good morning, everybody. SoPal here, your arbiter of truth from the dirty South. Hashtag Florida man. Hashtag wrestling alligator life. Hashtag the nemesis of the Tiger King, Carol Baskin. Home of Carol Baskin. That's some shit. Still talking about the Olympic opening ceremony in response to Shafe's latest and great video about how the opening ceremony being G-rated, like a sliding scale of morality. I had two thoughts regarding that, and it's kind of a yes and. I see what you're saying there. Thing about it is, where do you draw the line, right? Do we draw the line at G? And if we don't draw the line, how far do we go when this thing's maxed out? I mean, we've already got what many of us moralistically determine as like aberrant type displays. Essentially exposing youngsters to homosexuality or a libertine type lifestyle. How does it max out? I mean, does it eventually, in the logical course of events, have like a dude giving another dude a blowjob while another chick, but actually has a beard, is feeding him grapes? It's pretty wild. Third thing would be, this all seems to be at the expense of femininity. Like a debutante, like traditional femininity is really the victim in all this. This is what you see the least. So what we're up against, though, isn't the morality. And I don't think the powers that be necessarily care about a moral scale. They're doing what it takes to get clicks. The way I imagine it, it's similar to how professional wrestling is, where you have a face and a heel. And it doesn't really matter if people boo the heel. The crowd is still affected, if you get what I'm saying. And it seems that it isn't just the Olympics, but most everything in the public sphere has turned to this World Wrestling Vince McMahon Jr. strategy. This carny catch-can freak show. And it doesn't matter because we're all engaged. Whether you're engaged because, man, you finally see people flying the freak flag that we all want to fly, or because you don't like what's being displayed, you've still tuned in. We're still talking about it. It's moved that level of engagement. And that's the shame of what we're up against moving forward, because nobody's exercising indifference towards it. You're pushing this scale of love and hate, and I think it's serving the same narrative because there's two sides of it. We want to think that it's polarized, but in a way, I don't know how to put this, but imagine polarity as those two sides are linked. You have the north end and the south end of this moral polarity, yet you're part of the same magnetism moving forward. And that's the shame of it. And I think with the way things are and the fact that money gets a vote, get ready to see more of it. What's the detriment? Again, raising our children in a world that you can't plan for, which we're doing already. Open access to pornography, all kinds of other things. And then the pushback is, say, Project 2025. But when you take Project 2025 and see what people are talking about, it's almost like, baking soda in the vinegar, so to speak. It just boils up, and it's almost like taking the curtain back on a vampire. And you can see the pain, like, oh no, how dare they prohibit profanity in states. Trippy stuff, man. I don't think there's only a single logical conclusion, because over the course of human history, we've had moral ebbs and flows. Look at, biblically speaking, places like Nineveh, Sodom, Gomorrah. Unfortunately, the logical conclusion for those lifestyles doesn't serve the community, doesn't serve the species. Which brings us to something Elon Musk has pointed out from time and again. I don't think he's been the first one either. Is the opposition to this, is it anti-human? Are they anti-Homo sapien? The